Welcome into this weekend's Soccer Best Bets show. This weekend I've got 9 games to get into in these soccer picks for the weekend, covering a little bit of everything from the FA Cup to the Bundesliga to Serie A and La Liga as well. If you find this information helpful during the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to get more. If you want to get some free bonus money before making your bets this weekend, you can check out the link in the comments, signupexpert.com/shred-the-spread. There's tons of great offers from various casinos and sportsbooks, some of them giving up as much as $1,500 in free bonus bets. Be sure to check that out, and also check out the graphic at the end of this video for the summary of the picks and parlays as well. So let's get started. On Saturday in Germany, we'll go to the Bundesliga. It's Bochum and Hoffenheim, 17th Bochum hosting 14th Hoffenheim here. Only 7 points between them. Just a combined 8 wins also between these two teams on the whole season. Now, this matchup has produced goals and home wins. Historically, Hoffenheim won 3-1 at home in October. Last season, both won at home 3-1 and 3-2, and other scores have been 5-2 and 3-2 for the home teams. The first season Bochum came back up, it was 2-0 and 2-1, but those are also a few years back. Now this season, both have struggled everywhere, be it home or away. Bochum, though, were undefeated in 3 games, 2-2, a 2-0 win, and a 1-1 draw, and they are 5-4-3 in their last 12. Only 3 times in those 12 games have they not scored, but they only have 1 clean sheet themselves in the past 6. However, top scorer Miran Bodu, with 7 goals, could miss out again as he recovers from a muscle tear suffered a few weeks ago. Hoffenheim are undefeated in 2 with a 3-1 win and a 1-1 draw, but they have just 3 wins across their last 17 matches, but they are 3-2-3 in their last 8, so maybe slightly improving. A 4-0 home loss to Union Berlin is the only game where they've not scored across their last 8. There's also been 3 or more goals in 8 of their last 9, and the both teams to score has cashed at a 7-1 rate. Hoffenheim could also be without some offense, though, with second leading scorer Adam Holzek, 6 goals, also dealing with an injury. This could be a good both teams to score game, or for the sake of this parlay, simply over 1.5 goals. Next up, still in Germany, Werder Bremen and Wolfsburg. 12th, Werder hosts 8th, Wolfsburg. There's 4 points between these teams in the standings. Now, only games involving Kiel, Bayern Munich, and Frankfurt have seen more average goals per game than the 3.6 of these two. Now, there were 6 when they met last time in October, with Bremen winning 4-2 overall, the both teams to score. And over 2.5 has gone 6-1 in their past 7 meetings. And there's been at least 2 or more goals between them now in 7 straight meetings and also in 25 of the last 26 head-to-head. Now, Bremen have fallen off a cliff of late, losing 4 straight, being outscored 13-2, and have only won once in 9 games, that being 1-0, and that's their only clean sheet in their last 10. Wolves have scored in all but 3 games this season, but 2 have come in their past 4. It's only 1 win in 7, as they've been piling up the draws, being 1-4-1 in their last 6. They too have kept very few clean sheets, allowing a goal in 7 of 8 and 10 of 12. Both got knocked out of the Pokal this week. Bremen's defeat being especially tough, losing to a 3rd division team. They have 1 day of extra rest, but they're also likely out their 2nd and 3rd leading scorers in Marvin Dusch and Marco Gruel to injury. I would give the slight edge to Wolves here, though both teams not in great form. Wolves usually basically always good for a goal. Let's go Wolfsburg to score. Next leg of the parlay. And final leg, we'll go over to Spain. La Liga is Girona and Celta Vigo, losers of 3 straight and sitting in 13th in La Liga. Girona will host Celta Vigo, who are undefeated in 3, sitting in 10th. In all matches, Girona have only 3 wins in 16, and in their last 8, they're just 1-0-7 and outscored 15-6. Celta have a 3-2 win, 1-1 draw, 1-0 win in their past 3. They've scored 10 goals in those games. They've scored in 10 straight, and in 17 of 18. But they've also conceded a goal in 8 of 9, so the both teams to score has hit in 8 of their last 9 games for Celta. Both teams have gone 20-5 to simply over 1.5 totals. Celta's games average the 4th most goals per game at 3.0, and Girona's 7th most at 2.8. However, most recent matches have been tight when these teams have met. It was 1-1 this season. Other scores, 1-0, 1-0, 1-1, and 1-0 in the 4 matches prior to this. Celta are the team, better form, but they have won just once in 12 road league games. A 1-1 or just 2 goals in some fashion likely looks like it should happen again here. I would think I could see both teams to score here. Let's go both teams to score. Celta Vigo, Girona, paired with Wolfsburg to score, and at least 2 goals over 1.5 between Bochum and Hoffenheim. That'll get us plus 153 odds. Parlay number 2. It's over in England here. We have some FA Cup tournament action. Bournemouth and Wolves on Saturday. 7th Bournemouth from the EPL hosts 17th Wolves. They've met twice and both won on the road. Bournemouth 4-2 in November. Wolves 1-0 recently, very recently, last weekend, February 22nd. In that game, the Cherries, though, took a red card in the 31st minute. Cunha scored minutes later for Wolves, and it stayed like that the rest of the way. Cunha has also scored now in 4 straight FA Cup games if you go back into last season as well. The Cherries have lost 2 straight, 3 of 5, but still only have 3 losses across 17 and have only failed to score 3 times in their past 22. They saw 4th leading scorer, though, Evan Nilsson, return last game as well from a broken foot, so that should help as well offensively. Wolves lost 2-1 on Tuesday. They've lost 2 of 3 and 5 of 8, but they've also kept clean sheets in all 3 of their wins in that time. Bournemouth have some missing pieces on defense, but surely you would think they don't get shut out in back-to-back home meetings against Wolves as long as they don't take another red card. I'm going to bet on both teams to score, Wolves and Bournemouth. Next up, Manchester City and Plymouth, also in the FA Cup. City won in London on Wednesday, 1-0 over Spurs, with Haaland returning from injury and scoring the only goal. Rare bright spot for Man City after losing to Liverpool and Real Madrid lately. And it's just their 5th clean sheet now in their last 20 games. Most have come against weaker teams, the likes of Leicester, Salford, Ipswich, and before more recent shutouts to slightly better teams like Newcastle and Tottenham. Now, while they demolished Salford City 8-0 last round, City just barely got through 2 rounds ago, the last round, beating Leyton Orient 2-1, and they're a lower division than Plymouth are. Plymouth are way down to 22nd, though, in the championship, but they've already upset 2 EPL teams this tournament, beating both Brentford and Liverpool 1-0. It's also, though, still just 4 wins across 22 matches, and they're out top scorer Ryan Hardy, who got the PK goal versus Liverpool in the last round. Plymouth has the worst road record in the championship. They're 0-5-12 and outscored by a ridiculous margin of 40-6. I will take my chances here with Man City despite their inconsistency. City has not lost an FA Cup game to a lower division team in any of their last 18. We'll go Man City to win and to score over 1.5 goals, but surely you would think they could score more than 2. Atalanta and Venezia will round out this parlay. Atalanta still have title ambitions in Italy, being 3rd, 3 points back of first place Inter. Venezia, 19th, 6 points away from safety. La Dia won 2-0 in Venice earlier this season. They just routed Empoli 5-0 last week after getting knocked out of the Champions League unexpectedly by Club Bruges. They only have 2 wins in 8. Both of those have come by massive 5-0 scores and against weaker teams like Verona and Empoli. Now, Venezia certainly fits that bill as well. They're 3-8-15, winless in all of their last 9. They did draw Lazio 0-0 in Venice last week. They don't often get blown out, only allowing multiple goals twice in their last 10. Still, they should, you would expect, to lose here. Atalanta have scored the most in Serie A. They have 3 straight shutouts in the league. And in fact, even though you look at their overall form and it's not great, if you take out tournament matches, Atalanta have just 1 loss in 21 Serie A league games. Venezia have also yet to win on the road, and they've been shut out in 3 straight as well. This should be a simple Atalanta win. We'll go Atalanta to win, Man City to win and score over 1.5. Bournemouth, Wolves, both teams to score, plus 130 odds in that parlay. Now we'll move into Sunday for the final parlay. 3 more games back to the FA Cup here. It's Newcastle and Brighton. 6th Newcastle meets 8th Brighton. These teams just separated by 1 point in the Prem. Brighton won 2-1 on Tuesday. Newcastle lost 2-0 on Wednesday, so the Seagulls get the extra day of rest here. Brighton won 1-0 in Newcastle in October, but the previous 4 meetings all cashed both teams to score bets. Brighton have won 2-1, 3-0, 4-0, and 2-1 in their past 4 games, and they only have 2 losses in 13, and those 2 losses were the only games where they've not scored across their last 11. Even away from home, 7-0 loss to Forest is the only game in all competitions this season they've not scored on the road, and that being 15 games. Newcastle are an even 0-4 in 8, so are a bit unpredictable right now. After a long winning streak, they're about average. There's typically been, though, goals in these games with losses of 4-1, 2-1, 4-0, and 2-0, wins of 3-1, 2-0, 3-2, and 4-3. The over 2.5 is 8-2 of late, and the over 1.5 is on a 22-0 run in Newcastle games, so that's good enough for me. Over 1.5 for leg 1 in this parlay between Newcastle and Brighton, but certainly a both teams to score looks like a good option as well. We will bet some both teams to score in Manchester United and Fulham. Man U, 14th, trails Fulham 9th by 9 points in the EPL. To me, this looks like a game that should have goals, but then both games this season and 3 of the past 4 have ended 1-0. Man U winning both of those 1-0 games this season. Man U fought back from being down a man Wednesday and beat Ipswich 3-2. Now, for all of their faults, though, it is only 3 losses in all competitions across their last 12, and they've scored in 10 of 12, multiple goals in 7 of 12 as well. But then it's goals conceded in 10 of 12, and 2-1-1, 2 and 2 allowed in recent games. Fulham won 2-1 at Wolves on Tuesday, so they get 1 extra day of rest. In all matches this season, they've only failed to score 4 times, but twice have come against this opponent. They've won 4 of 5 on the spin, scoring twice in all 4, but then they've conceded in 6 straight and 11 of their last 12 games. Despite Fulham's struggles to score versus Manchester United this season, Man U don't have a home clean sheet since December 1st, and they should be tired playing much of this week's game down a man. So let's back the both teams to score here, as I don't trust either defense. I think both teams capable of scoring if they want to. Roma and Como will round out this parlay in Serie A. 9th Roma hosting 13th Como. It was Como taking a 2-0 home win, though, back in December. So surely Roma has some revenge on their minds here, playing back home now. Roma come in strong, undefeated in 5, with only 3 losses in 19, scoring in 17 of those games, and also in 9 straight. In their current undefeated run, they have a 1-0 win, 1-1 draw, and wins of 1-0, 3-2, and 4-0. They do have a Europa League match coming up, but not till Thursday. All 3 losses in their past 19 games have been on the road, and at home they've not lost in any of their last 10, outscoring opponents 31-6, scoring multiple goals in 9 of their past 10. Now over to Como, who are not in as good a form, but do come in off a 2-0 win over Fiorentina, and then a 2-1 win over Napoli last week. They're a decent 5-3-5 in recent months, but have only 1 clean sheet across their last 8. Roma at home have been unbeatable, so I will give them the edge here. You would expect them to win, certainly to score. I'll go Roma to score. Both teams to score between Man U and Fulham, and Newcastle Brighton over 1.5. That comes in at plus 144 odds. If you wanted something even simpler, drop Man U Fulham to over 1.5. That would bring it down to minus 121. I think I still like the both teams to score, Man U Fulham. So those will be the 9 different games across 3 different parlays for this weekend's soccer bets. Be sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, let me know where you're watching from, what you're betting down there in the comments, and stay tuned for more soccer picks next week in the Champions League and Europa League.